Hey everybody, good morning. I think it's still morning. I have with me what do I say? I mean, I'll say legend, and he'll tell me stop talking like this. If I don't, I will be doing a genuine injustice to his talent. So can I request you all to please put your hands together for Piyush Pandey's.
Hi. Thank you all. Thank you, Roshan. For a person who writes very small stories, you can't call him a legend. There's Ramayana and Mahabharata and all. So I have very good morning to you. Great to be with some buzzing youngsters out here, all related to an industry without which my industry cannot survive. So I'm very happy to be here.
So in fact, when I first talked to you about this topic, about the influence of advertising on music, it would just be wonderful to go down that journey of some of those legendary commercials that have happened. And if you can just tell us the stories behind it. Last year, I don't know how many of you were there, but we had this absolutely fantastic session where we were talking about Cadbury's, and we actually recreated the magic live, and that moment still is a memory for all of us. But where do you think does the inspiration start? Does it start with an idea and then the music? Has it ever happened the other way around? Are clients sometimes pushing you?
I think that's demeaning music a little bit.
Okay.
If you look at it, music starts where life starts. If you look at all the folk songs, and I know Rajasthan, so I can talk about Rajasthan, in 47 degrees heat, when they were building roads, they were singing folk songs to energize themselves, to give life to what was being taken away by the climate. So whether it's movies, whether it's advertising, whether it's life, music is inherent to human emotions. And it kind of spreads everywhere. So that's where we start. So we can come to my use of music, apart from my use of music for myself, which is inspirational anyway, any kind of music. So we can start out there.
Okay. But what I wanted to know was that because there are so many legendary, and I'm sorry I have to use the word again, but I'm just saying commercials that we all remember, which have stayed with us, I believe, because obviously there is a storyline, there's something which has been done visually, but then that music sort of holds it all together.
It's beyond holding it. In sometimes, and I'm going to share something with you right now from my very early days, is when you actually have a product story and music actually makes it into an entertainment. And I use folk music that time, and very folk style of narration. And that became a very, very popular thing and sold a lot of the product. So why don't we start with that? Just see how it was just street music and street way of narration, the way you must have seen, or some of you have not been to villages. The way we had seen it in villages, how you narrate and how you keep people engaged. So if you can play the first one for me.
Let's play the very first film.
ये है मिस्टर राम मुरारी, अफसर हैं ये एक सरकारी। देर देर तक काम ये करते, फिर घर जाने से थे डरते। उनको सूझा एक उपाय, अगले दिन एक लूना लाए। चल मेरी लूना। लूना करती पक्का वादा, खर्चा कम, मजबूती ज्यादा, अब काम भी है पूरा कर पाते, घर में ज्यादा वक्त बिताते। सुख पाना है तुमको दूना, शान से बोलो चल मेरी लूना। सफलता की सवारी लूना।
This is back in 87, and it was Mr. P.P. Vaidyanathan who we spoke to him. And I want to say one more thing, that today we don't spend time with composers as much as we used to. Like in the film industry also, there are those days of sittings gone, where it used to be 7-8 days of sittings, evolving music together. Now some of you give tracks to people and says, iske upar likh le, ready-made tracks. Or somebody comes to you, ye maine likh diya, now you do me music. No, ye tali do haath se bajti hai. And that's why I brought up this thing, which was very simple from the street. And we'll go into a little more evolved in the next one.
But tell me, when you came up with this, is it difficult to sell these ideas at that point in time? Does it require a Piyush sir to be there to sell it?
I'm not the only one in this business. So it depends. Where you're not selling, when you're sharing with passion, is different from trying to sell. And there are clients which are magical, and we'll be seeing some work of those clients later, who get it like that. Some people don't, you have to hold their hands. You can't get into a fist fight.
So this is a great point, where many of you who are out there going out and selling, forget the word of selling, what was just told to you about, either show the passion, share the passion, or hold their hands and make them understand, because only then will you be able to possibly do that. I think it must have been very, very reminiscent to say, अच्छा, हमने गांव में ऐसा सुना है, लोग ऐसे बेचते हैं खड़े होके, और इस स्टाइल को आपने अडॉप्ट किया.
And you will find that once you have actually built a little bit of a connect, next time it's easier to, I don't want to use the word sell, but to make it go through. So it's basic trust. But initially you have to hold somebody's hand and walk the path.
Well, there are so many great ideas, and one of the clients whose hand you've held through these years has been Asian Paints.
Yeah, I mean, they held my hand. In fact, we had written a very small story, and we asked Rajiv Menon to help us make that film. And we changed it all. And I'll play something to you, which was done for Pongal in Tamil Nadu, and I'll tell you where it went. So just play one more, then I'll talk about it, and I'll talk to you as to what it means to me and what it can mean to you.
అమ్మమ్మ అడి అమ్మమ్మ ఆనందం ఇది ఎంతమ్మా వీడెంగుం புது வண்ணம் நாடெங்கும் இனி மின்னும் இந்நாள் பொன்னால் என்று பொங்கலிடும் வண்ணம் பூமியில் வந்து தங்கிவிடும்.
இந்த பொங்கலுக்கு உங்கள் இல்லங்களை ஏஷியன் பெயிண்ட்ஸால் வண்ணமயமாக்குங்கள்.
வண்ணமும் எண்ணமும் ஒன்றாய் கலந்தன, வாசலில் இன்பங்கள் பூத்து குலுங்கின, சொந்தமும் பந்தமும் மகிழ்ந்தன மகிழ்ந்தன. மண் பார்த்து பொங்கியதே பொங்கல், வண்ண நிறம் பார்த்து பொங்கியதே மனசு.
ஆண்டுதோறும் எங்களோடு கொண்டாடுங்கள் ஏஷியன் பெயிண்ட்ஸ்.
Now the magic of this was that Rajiv Menon called me up from Chennai and said, I'm going to use a young music director called Dilip Shekhar. You know him as A.R. Rahman today. And when this was created, I went and played it to the client, and both of us started crying. None of us knew Tamil. And then we had the balls to run this Pongal on national television. And I even sat down with this track and wrote Hindi to it and used it for Diwali. So that's the magic of music. And this is also very folk music from Tamil Nadu, because it's about Pongal, it's about their culture. The way we take Diwali out here, they take their Pongal is as big or not bigger for them.
No, and I mean, and what I also believe, what you just said, is that getting a new music director, this very rarely happens nowadays, because everyone is trying to say, अच्छा भाई established, safe, safety, ऐसे नाम लेके लोग काम करते हैं.
Yeah, somebody gave us a chance also when we were beginners. So you have to remember that this entire thing of filmmaking for us is a team effort. The very fact that we go to a director, and a director can't sing, so he goes to a music director. A director can't shoot, so he gets a damn good cameraman. So if we believe that music is a creation of a team and not anybody's sole property, that's when music happens. And that's what we experimented, and we were very, very fortunate that we went to the right guy.
No, absolutely. So I think here are two more points for you all. Experimentation, collaboration, trusting new talent, giving them the opportunity. I think some absolutely fantastic learning which is there. Again, I cannot help but refer to last year's session where we actually saw magic happen. And उसमें कुछ खास बात थी तो ये वाला मैं प्ले करूंगा आपको नहीं play
ये आप
करना।
प्ले करना मगर मैं इसकी कहानी बाद में सुनाऊंगा.
बिल्कुल 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 Let's play this.
Because this music was made before the film was made.
Wow.
कुछ खास है हम सभी में, कुछ बात है हम सभी में, बात है खास है, कुछ स्वाद है, क्या स्वाद है जिंदगी में।
कैडबरी स्टीयरिंग मिल्क, असली स्वाद जिंदगी का.
ये वाला आप लोगों ने देखा है? Right? I mean, I think it also deserves a round of applause. Come on, guys. It's a...
Now, again, there are stories when you have to take chances. Sometimes you are in trouble, so you can't go through the process. I talked about that it would be magical if we could do sittings, but sometimes you can't sit. You don't even have time to stand. You have to run. And if you are running passionately, God helps you. So I wrote this song first in English. And I went on the last day, and Louis Banks had only a few hours. And he composed it, and this is what he did first shot. And Louis and I both hugged each other and said, okay, we are on. And later on, I wrote the Hindi lyrics to the same song and got Shankar Mahadevan to sing it, which is what you heard right now. So magic happens. If passion is there, music also happens.
The real bit which also happened, which you didn't tell us to this year, so for those who might have missed it, was that it was almost the agency having lost the pitch.
Yeah, I wrote the song when we were trying to save the business. Many other agencies were pitching against us. First time we had been put onto the stage on a model ramp walk that somebody will select you. And so it's a chance we took, and it's a good chance we took.
पर आपसे एक बात कर रहा था पहले about partnerships. That, you know, again, making music is a lot about building partnerships. And you've had this kind of relationship and this kind of partnership to be able to pick up the phone and say, I just need to get this done. ये एक trust होता है, एक relationship होती है, कैसे बनती है?
Relationship से ज़्यादा ये mutual respect होता है. Because it's not that I had worked with Louis Banks 20 times earlier. It's just that first time we met, there was mutual respect, and therefore the liberty to pick up the phone and tell him. Therefore the liberty to tell Shankar, whatever you're doing, come at 6 o'clock. I'm in trouble. And he came. So I think, and the industry, music or advertising, music, since we are in a music conference, has to work on mutual respect. If there is mutual respect, then it will bring out the best in each player. And the beneficiary would be the music and the audience for it.
And do you believe that this, when a tune like this becomes popular and it gets known, do you feel that it starts having a reflection in pop culture? Does it start influencing musicians and music and people around?
It definitely does. You see, when I hear something fantastic, it inspires me in whatever I'm doing to try and do it. I want to do it better than this one. I want to be a little more recognized by the people that I'm doing it for. More than it becomes a benchmark. And any benchmark inspires people.
No, and apart from that, so many of the young music directors actually and musicians have got their first break in advertising and then gone on to film music, then gone on to popular music, whether it is Pritam or, you know, whether you look at Shankar Ehsaan Loy or so many people, Vishal, Shekhar.
I think it definitely helps because there is a lot of need, number of ads made are more than the number of movies made. So when people hear, like Shankar said in last year's interview, that how many more people contacted him after they heard that song. So it becomes a kind of a platform where people who had not given you a chance to meet also suddenly heard you and wanted to meet you.
And apart from that, the other thing which I feel is that you somehow I think, we need to make more brave I feel advertising makes more brave choices so often. IPL tha. When it started, we all heard, okay, we heard this one little ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta, whatever. But the advertising each year was a brave choice. And ऐसी choices आपने भी करी.
Yeah, you're talking about IPL. IPL was, I was in deep shit also. I had to do it in 2 days' time. And we need to go back to sometimes. And I think there's a point out there that each one of us needs to go back to our childhood. When life was free, nobody had conditioned you. And there were magic happening, but you didn't bother about it. So I actually went back to how my father used to recite Veer Ras. So I said, I'm going to use Veer Ras. And I wrote it. And then I told my brother, who used to recite it exactly like my father, I said, you're going to go and do the voice, let's go to Ram Sampath, because he can go mad and inspire an army when he needs to. So we just need some great Veer Ras. I again sold it, and this, if you say where the magic of music is, this was the opening year of IPL. The jerseys were not made, teams were not finally, we were working on existing footage with some jiggery pokery with it. So what actually did it was the music. So you can play that now.
Sure, let's have a look at that absolutely unique campaign.
आंखें ऊंची कर देख शिखर हथियार उठा तू दिखा हुनर मुट्ठी में तेरी है ताकत दुश्मन की आई है आफत तू लगा दाव तू लगा दाव तू लगा पेच तू दिखा जिगर तू दिखा तेज लाखों धड़कन की जान है तू लाखों के दिल की शान है तू लगा जोर तू मचा शोर एक महावीर संतान है तू ना देश युद्ध ना धर्म युद्ध ये है धरती पर कर्म युद्ध
DLF इंडियन प्रीमियर लीग पेश करते हैं क्रिकेट का कर्म युद्ध 8 टीमों के बीच धुआंधार लड़ाई शुरू हो रही है 18 अप्रैल से सिर्फ मैक्स पर.
Still gives me goosebumps.
इसका जो नरेशन है वो एकदम वो जो वीर रस में आप बोल रहे हैं.
Because we didn't shoot a single frame. This is a film.
Absolutely.
From existing footage. Everything is about the song and the music.
And when you played this for the first time in front of the BCCI, what was the reaction?
I left Nirlawn House at about 12:30. And I walked down next door to Quality Restaurant, which is in Bandbox building. And me and my partner was there, and Kunal. And I said, yeah, I'm tired. I've worked for the last 24 hours. I'll have a vodka. We picked up our vodkas, and the phone rang. And Lalit Modi said, it's all yours. 15 minutes from presentation. 8 agencies had presented. That's the power of music.
Keep experimenting, keep finding unique ideas. कौन सोच सकता था कि एक childhood memory का आप एक ऐसी चीज बना सकते हैं. I'm going to quickly move. Actually, I'll move to because I'm a little short on time, so I'm just trying to figure what is it that you would like to.
I want to share something. Next one with you, because here's the story: is that what should actually drive you? This film was shot. And it was played to me and the client at night. And so I said, what are you going to do about the music? They said, we're going to buy a track. I said, you've done such a lot of original work. Why will you buy a track? Write something tonight and get it composed tomorrow morning. He said, but I'm not a lyricist. I said, who's a lyricist? When you grew up in school, all of you were students. None of you was a lyricist. You become a lyricist the day when you write something. And he wrote it in English. Thereafter, I told him, that you write so beautifully in English, as good as Javed Akhtar. So I am going to call you Johnny Akhtar from tomorrow because you write in English. This is what he wrote, and this is the film.
You and I in this beautiful world, green grass, blue skies. In this beautiful world, you and I, winding lanes as dreams go by. You and I in this beautiful world. You and I in this beautiful world.
You know, वो क्या बताऊँ, मतलब वो कहानियाँ जो है वो खत्म ही नहीं होती है with each of these. Simplicity is something I think is a big takeaway here. A lot of the things that you present, वो बड़ी सरलता से चीज़ों को कह देती हैं. Simplicity is such a core to.
Unfortunately, this young man died very early. He was a rock star. And this is probably the only song he ever wrote. V. Mahesh. If we are short of time, we'll skip Milesur.
अच्छा, तो हम लोग चलते हैं आपके we'll move one more forward from there. So
We were going to talk about Milesur, but all of you know Milesur. And it was just Suresh Malik's idea that we do something in Bhairavi. And entire thing was this. He just asked me to write the lyrics, which I managed in my 18th effort. So the point to be taken from Milesur is don't give up too fast. If it takes 18 times, let it take bloody 18 times.
Yeah, you know, this is so important. ये जो होता है, और you know, आजकल जो एक भेड़चाल लग जाती है about saying, oh, I can't deliver, it's too short a time or whatever. Sona, it actually does happen, guys. You know, you really need to dig deep to be able to find that, and those efforts are important.
I wrote it 18 times. It's running 35 years later. So you get double the benefit.
जितना लिखेंगे double the benefit. That's a great one to take back. I also wanted to ask you, you know, once you have made एक औदा हो गया, एक नाम हो गया, एक reputation हो गया, then when someone asks you to write it again, do you feel that you need to write it again? Should lyricists here get
Again,
the feeling
this is
themselves?
mutual respect. That guy is not my enemy who's telling me, Piyush, try a little harder. Suresh Malik was my boss. He says it's there, but not really there. Why don't you give it one shot? There's a way of saying it. You can easily take somebody's piece of paper and throw into this all bloody balls. Or you can say, maybe we are not there. I think relationships are made on mutual respect, as I said earlier.
I think, guys, that's a very important takeaway for everyone. You know, relationships built on mutual respect.
Learn to take criticism and take it. And you might come back and say, no, I was right. But give it a thought, give it a consideration. Maybe you'll get better. We can't go with fixed idea and say, ye, varna nahi hai. Oh, that doesn't lead you anywhere.
So, you know, I'm almost going to segue into what I think is a bond that he has built over a lot of time. आप एक brand से जुड़े रहे.
The first one I want to play to you is that sometimes you don't need lyrics. Lyrics, the music is the lyric. And I want to show you a film where the entire film is felt the same way or enhanced by the music. There is no single word on it. And magical music done by Ehsaan Loy. Have a look at it. Now, I didn't even see the visual the next time, only heard this music, I would feel the buzz. So that's the magic of music.
No, but it's absolutely fantastic that music gives you that.
Yeah, and it was decided that this is a lilt film, it is a slow film, and then Ehsaan and Loy and Roshan made this film. So my brother and Ehsaan and Loy have amazing relationship. I go there for the recording sometimes. I said, guys, you've been here for 6 hours. Can I hear something? He said, no, you come back after 6 hours. So again, that's chemistry.
Takes time.
That's chemistry.
Chemistry, build that chemistry with people around you, build the trust, build the team. Absolutely fantastic. Quickly, we'll move on to...
Oh, yeah, I want to say something before that. I'm going to play two together.
Ji.
Because I think music is not to be taken literally, which advertising many times does. If you think music laterally, you can do magic with it, whether the tone of the music is very different from the tone of the film. And whether the language that you're using is not Hindi, but you run it on Hindi channels. And the two films I'm going to play for you is for the same brand. Both are spiritual music. One in Bengali baul singing, where the lyrics are about where will you go, you wanderer? You can't go. And it's got nothing to do with the film. And the other is a Gujarati one, sung by an Indian Idol 12-year-old boy. Again a spiritual song, which is saying, you always think you did it, but there is somebody else who's doing it. Now, see these two films and look how literally you can make magic. Yeah.
Let's play two of those together.
কোথায় যাবি কোথায় যাবি রে বাউলের হে ভব সংসার ছাড়িয়া ছাড়িয়া রে হে ভব সংসার ছাড়িয়া বলি গুরুর কৃপা না হইলে রে সুখ নাই এই দুনিয়ায় রে বাউলের হে ভব সংসার ছাড়িয়া কোথায় যাবি
फेविकॉल मरीन, वही मजबूत जोड़ पानी में भी।
मैं जाण्यूं के हूँ है करूँ छे कर तल दूजो कोई मैं जाणूं के हूँ है करूँ छे कर तल दूजो कोई अणधार्યું જોને એ વૃથાશે મન કે ચિત્તમાં ન હોય હુજરે જરે ધાર્યું ધણીનું થાય આ બધું ધાર્યું ધણીનું થાય ધાર ધણીનું થાય હુજરે જરે કરતલ દૂજો કોય
Both these were composed by Dhruv Ganekar, who we know for other genres. But this is magic. Again, you have to think laterally. Think laterally.
And the voice that you took in the second ad has a relevance as well.
Yeah.
ये लड़का इंडियन आइडल में था.
इंडियन आइडल्स का 12 साल का बच्चा है क्योंकि जिस आदमी से गाना सुना था पहले, नोन सिंगर, वो he said, yeah, but I don't sing for ads. So we felt very bad. Yes, he's suddenly treating like a dog or something, that he doesn't sing for ads. So we called this Indian Idol boy, and my brother decided that we'll get this 12-year-old boy. When the original guy heard this, he said, "Aapne pehle bataya hota, to I would have liked to sing it."
No, again, take chances, find new talent. That's one of the things. I know that we're really out of time, but there's one last, and this is the last one that we had, so we will definitely play that.
And one last one is to say, when music tells the story, music tells the story beautifully. This is not the first one that I'm not showing you in Ogilvy film, but it's connected. It's my brother's film.
Here's the very last one for you all, but
Yeah.
thank you. This is brilliant.
Rare whiskey blended with Scotch. 8 p.m. A time for friends.
Nothing needs to be said. It's just there. The music is the story.
I think if you think that I'm talking about music because it's a music people's show, Roshan, I don't think you've read my new book. There's a whole chapter on importance of music in advertising. So I mean every word that I shared with you. I hope you inspire me with your work and the way some of you are publishers of music, some of you are creators of music, but I need you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's wonderful to have you. One thing which he said, which I want him to again reiterate. In the days of 5-second hooks, 10-second hooks, chota banao, क्या करना चाहिए? I mean, creators are becoming content publishers.
तो मैं कह रहा हूँ कि अगर उनकी बात मत सुनना, वरना all of you will be making 7 seconds of ting ting tiding, or the Intel music. You are music directors, and 7 seconds के लिए जो बोलते हैं ना, वो अगर उनमें से कोई हो यहाँ तो सुन ले ध्यान से. That you keep telling people to make 7 seconds and thumb stoppers or some whatever you call them. I launched your company with a 2.5-minute film. Remember that.
Thank you so much, sir. It's so wonderful to have you here with us.